Panzer's Picks is a lighthearted show focused on sports commentary and entertainment. At Cathedral, we do not promote or endorse any form of gambling. Our goal is to foster a fun and engaging conversation around sports while spreading joy and building community. Please enjoy the show responsibly. It is for entertainment purposes only.
One take, everybody knows the rules. Welcome, sports fans, coffee enthusiasts, and those just looking to kill time on YouTube, to this week's edition of Panzer's Picks, episode number 7. That's siete?
El siete.
Siete, episode siete, coming to you from the heart of Johnny Mac's Coffeehouse here at Cathedral High School. I'm your host, Coach Freytag, alongside the star of our show, Coach Panzer, who is always ready to break down 4 of this week's top games. We always start with the random starting question. I like this one. When is the proper time to start hanging up Christmas decorations on the house?
It's often a great argument in the Panzer house. The proper time versus the actual time. It is proper to hang up Christmas decorations following Thanksgiving.
Oh.
However, I was informed yesterday by the person who runs my home that we will be putting up Christmas decorations this coming weekend. I protested. I failed. We're working on Saturday.
We were going to start yesterday, and me and Sarah May pulled all the lights out and went Griswold and changed all the bulbs, and we're going to have to buy some new lights this year. But all the blow-ups work, all the gizmos work, all that stuff works. We're just going to have to go back to a new foundation. So anyways, before we jump into this week's games, let's talk about last week's Panzer Parlay performance. Last week, Panzer went 72.22%. We were 3 for 4, which is actually 75%. 72.22 is your season average. Which is still 22.22% over 50%, which technically makes you a winner 100% of the time. The only game that you lost was the game that broke my heart. You didn't choose the Boilermakers. Let's give a quick synopsis of last week.
Congratulations to the Boilermakers. A huge game at Mackey Arena and then beating the number 2 team in the country in Alabama. It was back and forth for a long time. Alabama had a lead late in the second half, but the Boilermakers prevailed and ran away with it at the end. Illinois beating Michigan State, not an unexpected result. Georgia beating Tennessee, not a bad result. But, I mean, the easiest one was DePaul beating the Little Giants of Wabash. It was, a 3-touchdown victory. There's 9 Cathedral Irish on DePaul, 1 Cathedral Irish on Wabash. It's an easy pick. Sorry, Strife.
Just a reminder that the Panzer Parlay is always a winner. LeVar Ball, never lost.
Never lost.
We like those odds. All right, let's get right into Week 7 with some big-time games. I'm juiced up. Indiana game, we're starting out with number 18, undefeated Army at the number 6, Fighting Irish, Notre Dame. Who we got?
The first time these two teams met was in 1913. This is the 52nd meeting. 52nd meeting of the United States Military Academy versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Notre Dame hasn't lost to Army since the Eisenhower administration. I know that Army is 9-0. Their defense is giving up 10 points a game. They're second in the country. Notre Dame's defense is third in the country, giving up 11 points a game. Notre Dame Fighting Irish scoring 38 points a game. I like Notre Dame to win this game. 7 p.m. NBC at Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium will be the site of Notre Dame versus Army.
That's awesome. That's a big-time stadium, man. Been there, a lot of history, great place to visit.
That game has been played at Ebbets Field, the Polo Grounds, Shea Stadium, Giant Stadium, and Yankee Stadium. The Army plays Notre Dame all over the place.
That's awesome. Great for those kids. Big Ten game this week. We've got Coach Brownlow, Illinois, versus Coach Bailey, Rutgers. Who we got?
What a great matchup for Cathedral here. Similar connections. Coach Brownlow, a native of Indiana, goes to an adjacent state to play his college football, becomes a Hall of Famer and NFL legend as well. We've got Coach Bailey, a native of Delaware, going to a neighboring state in New Jersey and doing his undergrad at Rutgers. Time will tell. We'll see if Coach Bailey becomes a Hall of Famer at Rutgers. Streaky teams. Rutgers started out 4-0, then they went 4-4. Now they're 6-4. Illinois beat MSU last week. This game is being played at Piscataway. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights will defeat the Illinois Fighting Illini.
Coach Bailey for the win.
Coach Bailey going to knock off Coach Brownlow, the pride of Delaware.
Big game this week. This one I'm pretty juiced up about. Number 5, the red hot IU Hoosiers at number 2, Ohio State, 13-point favorites. All the boys are going to get into a van and drive to Columbus, and they're going to bring the juice to Columbus. The team that's going to win is going to be wearing red. Which one is it?
12 p.m. on Fox. Will the miracle run for the Hoosiers continue? IU has had 2 weeks to prepare for the Buckeyes with a bye week last week. They have gotten healthy. Ohio State has the number 1 defense in the country, but IU has the number 2 offense in the country. IU already had their scare versus a very average Michigan team that came away with a victory. All things pointing toward the Hoosiers. Ohio State's going to win this game on Saturday.
We have a lot of upset fans about that.
A lot of upset fans, but you gotta, you play this game with your head. You play this game with your head.
The Panzer parlay for Week 7. We have Notre Dame, Rutgers, and Ohio State comes out to plus 168. Again, the Panzer parlay, 72.22% of the time is a winner every single time. That's 22% above 50. Again, always a winner. LeVar Ball never lost. Random game of the week. We're going to go with Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. Hopefully they don't have streaming issues like Netflix. Oh. NFL, Pittsburgh Steelers, 3.5 favorites versus the Cleveland Browns. Who we picking?
Pittsburgh's coming off a very rough and tumble game versus the Baltimore Ravens, where they did not score an offensive touchdown and ended up winning the game.
Wow.
They're playing the Cleveland Browns, who are just abysmal at 2-8. They don't have their quarterback. They just got trounced by the Saints, 35-14. It'll be a good game because this is a division rivalry, but somehow, some way, Mike Tomlin and them boys will find a way to knock off just the terrible Cleveland Browns.
Yinzers. That's a wrap for this week's episode of Panzer's Picks. A huge thank you to our sponsors, Johnny Mac's Coffeehouse, for letting us film our show, and Coach O'Hara's Pick'em League for providing our biggest following on YouTube. Big shout out to our camera girl, Kat. Make sure you follow her on Instagram.
Best in the business.
Make sure to follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Johnny Mac Coffee. We will see you next week for Panzer's Picks.